Good morning, wrestling fans. Happy August the 10th of the year 2022 to you. This is Matthew Thomas joined alongside Linda Kay. Welcome to PWR Today. See, Linda, that's what I'm going to start doing, kind of like they do the Welcome to Monday Night Raw. I think I'm going to do the Welcome to PWR Today. Linda, how are you this fine morning?
Doing tremendous as always, but I like that, Matthew. That's got to be a thing, not just between you and I, but whenever you would meet around together, if you're doing the date stamp there, but you've got to give it some intensity as if this was your first time introducing PWR Today, like on Raw.
You know, since we've kind of had a regime change, I haven't paid that much attention. Are they still doing the Welcome to Monday Night Raws, or has that been dropped?
I have not seen it as of late, to be honest with you. I mean, not too long ago, but maybe the past 2 weeks at least, or including SmackDown. I mean, I know they don't say welcome to SmackDown, but sometimes they do. I think it's that changeover. So we're going to start our own regime by.
So, Linda, I heard a term that was used a couple of days ago, and I think it may actually be one that kind of sticks, you know, since there's been a little change of leadership up top at WWE. I heard somebody refer to the era we're in now as the cerebral era.
Oh, that move makes sense.
I can't say that I minded. I think that might have, you know, the potential to stick because things are changing. I mean, you do have people across multiple segments that are crashing cars and, trying to get to the ringside area. I tell you, a certain Dexter Lumis, he may have had better luck a couple of nights ago if he was not wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and he was wearing something a little more stylish, Linda.
Yes, perhaps something from collar and elbow, which we regularly see along ringside. So Dexter Lumis could have been sporting some comfortable, fashionable wrestling street fashion by going to collarandelbowbrand.com and to save a little extra money that whether it be Dexter Lumis or yourself, anyone listening, to always and anytime save 10% off your order. Use promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY.
Linda, we talked about the regime change in WWE. There was more news on that. Breaking yesterday, apparently WWE unearthing another $5 million or so in hush money payments made by none other than Vince McMahon. According to reports, Linda, they are going to delay their quarterly reports because of this new information. So once he stepped down, we figured it probably wasn't done. And there's been talks of, I think, Wall Street Journal working on a story. I believe it was HBO Real Sports working on a story. I mean, there's more reporting apparently coming that way. But Linda, some more news breaking on Vince as of yesterday.
Yeah, since the investigation started, I really wasn't sure what else we would find out or to what extent, I guess. And by the abrupt, stepping down, figured we would be finding some stuff out soon, and we indeed did, if this is true to fact. Yeah, just interesting. And I know right now everyone's just kind of taking in these stories, but I would be curious to see, as we move further along, if it's, people revealing who they are, if we find out if the money is coming out of a certain company's, pot, if you will, or if it's personal, but still it is still something developing, and just,
So, Linda, you think if you're a do you think if you're a WWE shareholder that some of this hush money payment might have influenced your dividend?
Would I be interested in finding out? Is that what you
said? Yeah. I'm just curious if maybe this affects some of the dividends from WWE stockholders. They are a publicly traded company.
That's true. So coming out.
I at one point owned some WWE stock, so I can say, Linda, that at one time I was part owner of the WWE.
Oh wow, that's tremendous.
So yeah, there was no era when I was part owner. It wasn't much to talk about, but Here's the thing with these news stories. Sometimes, a lot of times we just kind of jump around. There are all kinds of various subject matter. Not this morning. This morning we have, a very, very nice segue between our news stories. On the subject of rampant promiscuity, we have somebody else that has landed in the news that, I think he may think that Vince is getting a little too much of the spotlight because now was the time he decided to come forth. And Virgil made news yesterday. He on one of I believe it was a podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Virgil dropping the bomb that he claims that he has probably slept with close to 1 million women.
Oh, 1 million women?
Exactly. Surprised, am I? No, not really. I mean, it's Virgil. Of course, there's not necessarily any way of proving this. I mean, I'm sure, under the right circumstances, Virgil would probably, be okay with a polygraph. But, the internet being the great source of information that it is. Hold on one second, Linda. Let me get these numbers here.
Oh, okay.
Let me find these numbers.
I'm
researching. Okay, here we are. So somebody's done the math. Virgil right now is 71 years of age. So there are 365 days in a year. So Virgil's life of 71 years has consisted of 25,915 days. 1 million divided by 25,915 would be exactly 38.587 women per day for his entire life, Linda, including the day Virgil was born.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Are we including that number? Well, okay, Axiom. Thank you for that breakdown.
Yes. And, that's going to segue very well into our NXT recap from last night. Axiom, not on the show, but we know a lot of you people have only started listening since Axiom has premiered in NXT, and you want your daily dose of mathematics. Well, that's it right there. And, I imagine there are probably a lot of teachers that listen to this program. Andre Chase probably, but if you want an interesting word problem, see, that's the kind of word problem that I feel like would really get your students interested. That's a problem they would say, what, we're going to spend some time working this word problem out. That's what we do. We like to provide, some basically source material for the education community out there.
Including the amount of women Virgil is claiming to have slept with.
Exactly, because you'd imagine there's got to be like a few teachers in there, probably.
Hey, with those odds, perhaps I would say, but that's quite the transition, Matthew. I mean, honestly, we could do a whole episode just based off Virgil and this announcement, this revelation.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. If we were say PWR, the incarnation of us that was live on video on YouTube, and we could actually have fans vote, I'm pretty sure those fans would say, hey, just keep that ship going in that one direction. We want to show nothing but Virgil and his escapades. And who knows? I mean, maybe if we get enough of a groundswell and enough requests, maybe we can do that. Or I mean, maybe we actually kind of extend the olive branch and try to see if we can get the facts from the horse's mouth directly.
I know we have to have Virgil on as a guest. I mean, this is something that he openly spoke of, and why not share it with us and with our loyal fan base as well?
Absolutely, because inquiring minds want to know, and inquiring minds want to know what happened on NXT 2.0 last night, August the 9th. So we would kick off the show. Kiana James going up against Nikita Lyons. Nikita Lyons featured in the new WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament. Us talking about a certain tag team we thought were going up sooner rather than later. We had some NXT talent in that bracket, but it was none other than Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. Matter of fact, the show last night would be bookended by both talents. Nikita Lyons picking up the victory in the opening match.
Yeah, it was a great match indeed as well. And as you heard, me and Meathead talking yesterday morning, I discussed how we assumed, or as I said, predicted that it could possibly be Toxic Attraction getting called up as far as amplifying, boosting, increasing the WWE Women's Tag Team division, and then we get that announcement of the tag team tournament. But instead, we get Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. But might I add, two strong, beautiful women talents that I think will represent NXT really, really well. And we saw that just from seeing Nikita Lyons in that opening match. Just a little reminder of what she can do in her skill set.
Absolutely. Well, in the new era of WWE, all that is old is new again. Linda, last night, second match in, they brought the Brawl for All back, right?
Yeah, it was called a rounds match, though. That was, I think, the actual terminology.
Absolutely. Trick Williams going up against Wesley. Linda was a little bit confused here. Sometimes they were wearing boxing gloves, sometimes they weren't. I really kind of had a hard time grasping this. We would have breaks between the rounds, but it would ultimately be Wesley picking up the win in round 5. Linda, your thoughts on this interesting concept here?
You just took the word out of my mouth. Interesting was what I was going to say. I actually had to rewind to hear uh, the rules once again from Alicia Taylor. I'm like, okay, because I can't recall the last time I saw a rounds match, or at least, a recent times and on recent television. And I know that Trick Williams, Ali's one of his idols, Muhammad Ali, that is, and he loves boxing, and Trick Willie, we've seen hints of that. And so this match against Wes Lee, instead of it being a traditional wrestling match or some other type of traditional stipulation, I guess you can kind of say within pro wrestling, we got the rounds match. And yeah, I wish, I don't know, maybe they created some rules, or maybe there were just it was not enough time to list all the rules, because at times, as you said, they had their gloves, sometimes they didn't. I saw a knee by Trick Williams take place. I'm like, okay, so we can do knee strikes, but why aren't they continually doing that? I'm just curious, just because obviously I watch pro wrestling. I also watch MMA and UFC, and partake in some of those as a sport. So I was just wondering, could this be like, are there shoot rules that we can do? I wasn't really sure. But then we also, at one point, I don't know if it was round 2 or 3, where Wesley then jumped off the top of one of the ropes, or the ring post. So I was like, okay, we can do that too. But I will say, I did watch that knockout punch, but I know there you have to move quickly, but I don't know if that glove was fully on, but it was enough. But I will have to add, just from personal experience, and obviously not being an actual rounds match, and no, I have not competed in any boxing or any MMA type of competition, but I do spar, and the boxing gloves still hurt. So
Yeah.
at least with round 1, they were really going in. I'm like, okay, I could see them protecting a bit, and whether it's sparring at like 20-50%, whatever it may
Sure.
be, I'm sure there was some what's the word, impact
Some
taken there, no pun
impact.
intended.
That's right. That's right. That's the other show, but there
Yeah.
was some impact
Yeah.
on Tuesday night as well too. No, I mean, here's the thing. At the very least, it's got people talking about it. It's got us talking about it. We don't know
Yeah.
exactly what it is. We don't exactly quite understand the concept, but it's not just a quick done wrestling match. Something that's done super quick and you just kind of gloss over it. It's like, all right, this is something different. What are they doing here now? Trick Williams' partner in crime, Carmelo Hayes, was not done. He would extend over into the next segment with a promo interrupted by a guy who got interrupted last week, Giovanni Vinci. That's going to set up their match for the title at Heatwave coming up next week, Linda.
Yes, I like the continuation of this. We didn't see Nathan Frazier, but that's okay. We got this match. I want to see this one for sure. I think, obviously, I mean, I'm a fan of Carmelo Hayes. He is the A champion, and now we have Giovanni Vinci, who's really, his new character is really spiked up as far as to me personally, as far as popularity and interest. So I think that they're fairly matched, and it's kind of interesting because they're technically both heels, but Carmelo Hayes is such a favorite. He's almost a face. But that being said, interesting title match that I think will produce a good one next week.
Absolutely. We would have the premiere match of Thea Hale from Chase U going up against Ariana Grace. A little bit surprised here. Thea actually losing her debut match. Ariana Grace picking up the victory. Are they back to the drawing board or lesson plans at Chase U, Linda?
I was a bit surprised with this as well, but I guess this could lead to more fun classroom vignettes. You just kind of alluded to, but still a great outing. I think we got to see a lot of what Thea Hale could do. I mean, we've seen some of her performance center footage, but I thought she did great, and I know she's really, really in with this character, this bright, bushy-tailed freshman that's excited about just being a part of Chase U. As they've mentioned, she could have gone to any other Ivy League school or Big 10 school, Big 12, but she chose Chase U.
Absolutely.
Right choice, by the way.
Without a doubt. You got to think, you got to wonder, especially around the Florida area, you think they probably got a pretty strong presence at the college fairs. You would certainly think, because I mean, you see the logo, you see the presentation. I don't know why anybody, Linda, you think it's too late? Do you think I can actually kind of like return my degree, maybe exchange that for a degree at Chase U?
Exchange maybe. So instead of adding on another degree, you want to exchange it so that your college diploma could say
exactly.
Chase
It's like,
U.
hey, can you just transfer all these credits directly over to this and just give me a diploma from your school? So I'm officially a graduate from Chase U. I mean, it sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, credit hours are credit hours, right?
Oh, just thinking about the work put into college many moons ago, but maybe I gasp a bit. I'm good with that, but unless it was Chase U, that'd be a different story.
I hear it's recurring and it's fairly common, but throughout the years, I have had a recurring dream where I'm like really close to graduating and realize there's one class that I signed up for that I just forgot to go to. And I don't know.
Get that application in ASAP.
Absolutely. I wonder if that'll be a problem with Chase U. What was not a problem was what I certainly thought was match of the night last night. Apollo Crews going up against Roderick Strong. This is an NXT pay-per-view main event. Like, this is a quality match on paper, and it delivered. Wade Barrett potentially calling it NXT match of the year. It was a tough fight, but Apollo Crews picking up the win at the end.
Absolutely. We knew that the two of them, just based off their years of experience alone, would produce a great match. And also, I mean, obviously, we know there's still some shenanigans taking place with Roderick and Diamond Mine. But did you catch before the match when Apollo Crews had that premonition almost? I don't know if you caught that, but
I think I missed it.
Okay, so right before he came to the ring, all you saw was like a dark, like it was a wrestling ring. It was darkness with some like green lighting though. It was green, and it had all the members, with the exception of Ivy from Diamond Mine, reeling like on the floor of the mat. And I was thinking, I thought it had something to do with Roderick. I don't know, but then all of a sudden it flashed back to Apollo's face. So remember that premonition or superhero or with that person in the alley. It's kind of similar to that to some extent. So I don't know if you get a chance back to look at it, but basically it was a premonition of everyone from Diamond Mine like reeling on the ground like in pain. So I think that's sending us a message of who Apollo's going to be trying to go after next.
So if there's a take-home lesson here, it's that you can't passively watch WWE anymore. Like you've got to be on your P's and Q's when you're watching these backstage segments, because you never know what kind of premonition or what kind of car is going to strike what. When you're watching a backstage promo, WWE getting very getting a lot of little subtle things like that. Well, a tag team that's not subtle is Pretty Deadly going up against Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. Pretty Deadly picking up the win. Blade and Enofe getting some screen time last night with Lash Legend.
Just like Wade Barrett said, I forgot what his words were verbatim, but it was a trio I never knew I would want or expect, but I liked it. This was something that got me more interested in Lash Legend. I've said some things about her that I enjoyed, like her first couple matches with Nikita Lyons. I enjoyed. I thought her attire, her ring look was good when she was facing Nikita, and then I know she had her thing with Alba Fire, but now just this little bit of interaction with Pretty Deadly, even backstage and at ringside. This is the most that I really rooting for Lash Legend, and I think they have something there with the three of them.
Absolutely. In our final match, main event of the evening, Cora Jade going up against Zoe Stark. This was Zoe Stark's to win. I mean, she's got an upcoming championship match. She is in the WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament. Zoe Stark with the win rather, in the main event.
Yeah, and she's definitely strong. You can see why she was chosen along with Nikita Lyons to represent NXT in that WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament. But I will say that I enjoyed this match. I think everything with Cora Jade and Zoe Stark, they had great interaction. And then, of course, toward the end there, where we got to see Roxanne Perez come out and obviously cause a distraction. And Zoe Stark's move, I mean, her finisher, that is very unique. I had to watch it a few times. I absolutely loved it. And I don't, whether she hits it on the money or if it's the camera angle or if it's just the noise, just the pop. I don't know if you know it, but basically you're just spun around and her knees right to your face. But she did that to Cora Jade and then to Mandy as well in the ring, sending a strong message going into their championship match next week.
Absolutely. NXT Heatwave coming up next week. NXT's, it's going to be on USA, so it's not a Peacock event. It's not a PWR draft scoring event, but Heatwave next week on NXT. Well, that is our show for today. Join us next day. I guess, you know what? I was trying to segue next into tomorrow. I think next tomorrow, does that work, Linda?
Yes, next or NXT.
Ooh, we could do that. We could do that. But join us tomorrow when on the subject of heat wave. The man they call Meathead is going to tell us what he keeps his thermostat set at in his home in the summertime. For Linda Kay, this is Matthew Thomas. We'll talk to you tomorrow.